Liverpool drop points at the top of the Premier League as Manchester City keep up the heat. Who's going to come out on top? We'll talk about it next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video, this time looking forward to match day number 26 in the 2018-2019 Premier League season. Now we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Premier League related, world football related. We're going to all hear under one roof. Now let's take a look at the nitty gritty. Match day number 25. Before we jump into match day 26, see how many predictions I got right, and of course how many I got wrong. And I'll tell you now, folks, not the greatest weekend for predictions, but I still got a few. Anyway, let's take it off. Tottenham Hotspur up against Newcastle. Newcastle coming into this, obviously, with that win against Manchester City not too long ago. And Tottenham just grinding out the results at the moment, including this weekend, with a 1-0 win over the Toon at wherever they play, Wembley these days, I guess. I actually saw this as a 3-1 win for Spurs. Song Young-min with the only goal. Everton up against Wolverhampton Wanderers. What is... Wolves are just phenomenal right now. They've got great coach, good team. Obviously, a lot of Portuguese influence, but they are just turning over teams at the moment. 3-1 win against Everton. I actually saw this going the other way. 2-0 for Everton, whose season is just... they're in 9th, which is respectable. But I guess they would think they should be in that chasing pack of 7th, you know, and to be honest with you, when you look at it is clearly the top 6, and then there's just a hodgepodge of the rest of the teams. I know Leicester have won the Premier League before, but the rest of the 14 teams in the Prem it could be anybody. There's no, you know, it used to be Bolton, it used to be Rovers, it used to be, you know, Newcastle, Sunderland. It used to be the same, but it's a variety, it's a hodgepodge of teams at the moment. And Wolves are back up to 7th after that win. Anyway, Chelsea up against Huddersfield. Obviously, new manager for Huddersfield's not really clicking into gear as they got battered 5-0. Higuain getting a couple of goals. I actually saw this just as 3-1. So 1 goal shy, but most importantly, got the right result. Brighton, Hove Albion against Watford. A difficult one, this one. Brighton mid-table. Watford are chipping away at it. 0-0. So a valuable point for Watford away from home. I actually saw this as a 2-0 win for Brighton. Those six-fingered banjo players, weirdos, Burnley up against Southampton. Southampton are in 16th spot. Burnley chipping away at in 17th spot with 24 points on the board. They're still in the relegation talk, and hopefully they're getting sucked into it. End up as a 1-1 draw. I actually saw this going 2-1 win in favour of the Saints. So unfortunately got that one wrong. Crystal Palace up against Fulham again. Fulham need some wins. Unfortunately for them, Huddersfield are much worse, in worse shape. So I think Fulham could still get out of it. I don't think they will, to be honest with you. 2-0 win in the end for Crystal Palace. I actually saw this as a 3-2 win for Crystal Palace. So again, on the right path, if you know what I mean. Cardiff up against Bournemouth now. Obviously, Bournemouth come into this with a spanking win over Chelsea. It was quite a shocker, probably one of the result of the season. So a lot of people would have fancied Bournemouth, but I went with emotion on this one. Cardiff with a 2-0 win. I got this one bang on the nose, folks. Bang on the nose. 2-0 win. Big win for Cardiff. Closed the gap to Newcastle, Southampton and Burnley to just 2 points. Crystal Palace could get sucked into it, but we'll see. Leicester City, former winners against former winners Manchester United. They edged it. Manchester United 1-0 win. I actually saw this as a 2-1 win, so not too far off the pace either. Manchester City against Arsenal again. Manchester City keeping up the pressure. They are now 3 points off of Liverpool, but they have a game midweek as well to maybe go top of the pops. End up being a 3-1 win, and again, bang on the nose, folks. Got this one bang on the nose. 3-1 win in favour of Manchester City against Arsenal, who kind of slipped off a little bit. And West Ham United against Liverpool again. I think Liverpool were feeling the pressure a little bit. Ended up as a 1-1 draw, and I actually saw this 3-1 win in favour of Liverpool away from home. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 10. Not too shabby. Now let's move on to this weekend's action. Another one for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to maybe put in the back of his bag. Can he make it another game unbeaten? Yes, he can. 3-1 win against Fulham, who are struggling. But I see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's boys scoring a few goals this time out. That's the early kickoff this weekend. Watford against Everton. Mario Silva up against his old boys. Watford is 8th against 9th. It's a difficult one, this one. So obviously you're going to go with a draw on this one. 2-2. They're going to cancel each other out. But I think Watford will be happier with that point because Everton are difficult on their day. They could beat anybody on their day, but their day doesn't come around that often. Huddersfield up against Arsenal. Now Huddersfield are in 20th spot. Arsenal up in 6th, realistically. A win for them, though. A win for Arsenal could see them jump as high as 4th, depending on what else goes on around the grounds. I see Arsenal winning, but only just 2-1 win over Huddersfield. Emery will get them over the line, and I think Huddersfield will be. Obviously, they want to get a point out of this at least, but obviously coming in from the back of a 5-0 spanking against Chelsea, this is an upgrade to them. Southampton against Cardiff, difficult one. This one, obviously, I would love to see Cardiff get themselves some points on the board because of their situation they go through right now against Southampton. But Southampton are a new beast with this new manager in charge, and they seem to be getting results. They're grinding them out one way or another. 2-0 win for the Saints against Cardiff. Crystal Palace against West Ham, difficult one this one as well. Crystal Palace in 14th up against West Ham, who played absolutely out their skins against Liverpool, but away from home, a little bit different. So I see Crystal Palace picking up a 2-0 win and give themselves a boost, and that could push them above Brighton into 13th spot. But we'll have to wait and see. Liverpool against Bournemouth. Now, Bournemouth, again, turned on the flare against Chelsea. They got humbled by Cardiff. They're hot and cold at the moment, but if they're going to go to Anfield, who are top of the pops, it's going to be a different kettle of fish for them as well. I don't see them getting anything out of it. I think Liverpool will bounce back, and they'll score a few goals as well. 3-0 win for Liverpool. Brighton have been against Burnley. Now, obviously, I usually will go stone cold against Burnley, but I think they'll get something out of this. Brighton are going through a bit of a mill right now, go through a grind, and they're just not clicking into gear. So I think Burnley will get a point out of this, a 1-1 draw. And they'll think that's okay, considering I expect Cardiff to lose, and I also expect. Who else to lose? Fulham to lose. So Burnley will be happy with a point. That's a point close to the safety. Spurs against Leicester City. Spurs are in 3rd spot. A win for them. Could see them jump as high as 2nd if they would beat to Leicester City. Former Premier League winners are in 11th. And a win for them could see them rise as high as 8th. But I see Spurs coming out with a 2-0 win because it is at home, and I don't see them losing. Manchester City against Chelsea. The game of the weekend. This one, tasty one. There'll be plenty of goals in this one. 6. I'm calling for 6 goals. 4 for Manchester City, though, 2 for Chelsea, and that will, again, put the pressure on Liverpool. But, in fact, it'll put the pressure on Manchester City because Liverpool would have played their game before them. And wrapping up the weekend, there'll be Wolves against Newcastle United. Difficult one, this one as well. Newcastle, they could beat Man City, but then they can lose to whoever else. And away from home against a Wolves team who look good. They look very good, and, in another season, they could be pushing for top 6. Obviously, there is a bit of a huge gap between 7th and 6th at the moment. But I see them getting a big win against the Toon. 3-1 win at Molineux to wrap up the weekend's action. That's pretty much all I've got for you today, folks. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a good old thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe. I'll get you bang up to date with all things Premier League related, Blackburn Rovers related, World Football related. We're going to all here under one roof. And while I still have you, drop your own predictions down in the comment section. See how many you can get right. And, of course, how many you got wrong, and see if you can out-predict me this weekend. And also, while you're there, check out the old description. Links to my other social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, it's all in there, so you can catch up with me on the fly. Yeah, difficult one, this one, because I looked ahead of the schedule for Liverpool and Man City. Liverpool do have a very, very difficult run-in, and if Manchester City were to beat Chelsea, I think the pendulum switches completely in favour of Manchester City. There might still be the same gap at the top of the table, but I think Manchester City, I think they've got to play Man United at some point. But Liverpool got to play Man United. Liverpool got to play, who else? They've got to play Everton. That's always difficult. So very, very few games that they could afford to lose. So it's getting tight. And if I was a betting man, despite the situation right now, I will bet on Man City to win the Premier League. Anyway, that's just my thoughts and predictions. Let me hear your thoughts and comments down in the section below. Until then, I'll be back same time, same. In fact, next weekend I think it's FA Cup drama, so we'll have it might be a delayed. It won't be delayed prediction, so we'll have to wait. Anyway, until then, thumbs up, subscribe. I'm out. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.